Welcome again. Thank you. Oh, wow, what a winter. I know we've had a couple of cancellations, snowstorms on the night that we were supposed to be here, and I'd like to apologize, but unfortunately it's not my fault, but we had a couple of guests that we were going to have. We rescheduled them again. But we got plenty of guests coming up in the very near future. We've got a great friend of mine coming tonight, and young lady that they did our show a couple of times in the past. But we'll get into that a little later. We'll bring them up, and we'll start to get a little something about, some news about their past and get an idea of where they came from and how they got involved in the business. I like that question-answer type thing. It makes it more personal. Speaking of personal, we're going to be doing, the Elegance, we're going to be doing an Up Personal show, something totally different. We're going to do it May 15th over at Nino's here on Staten Island. Very limited audience, and believe it or not, they didn't even start advertising, and we're pretty much, well on the way to selling it out. But the reason is going to be a little different. The whole theme of that evening is going to be different. We're going to be singing, of course, but we do have some question and answers, and we're going to work with the audience a little bit. A lot of trivia, give you some things that you probably didn't know about the business, and so we're going to be looking at another way, like I said, another way to skin a cat or find a new mousetrap. We're just trying to go maybe a little further than what we've been doing after all these years. Of course, we're still going to do the other concerts. We're doing a couple of bigger concerts. One thing we do every year, we're doing about 15,000 people at there, and another one at 8,000. So we're not leaving that segment of the industry, but we just want to be able to relate more to you people, instead of just saying, now, ladies and gentlemen, blah, 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 snap, 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 and we're off the stage. This is going to be a little closer. I'm looking forward to it. So if anybody out there wants to come, it's May 15th at Nino's. They are taking reservations now. So, and like I said, there's quite a few people already had locked in, and there's it's very limited seating. But anyway, the up close and personal thing is what I'm looking to do. And that's exactly what we've been doing here for 40 years almost. And that's what I really like. I like working in a position where I can actually relate to people. I'm a people person. And, if I can actually relate to them, it becomes a job. And believe me, I don't need a job at this age, but I really want to be able to just give you a little bit. I just did Cousin Brucey, for the I don't know how many times, but I did the interview. It just aired Saturday night, and I said to him, "Why do you want me to come back again? I've been here, 3 times or whatever." He said, "Because nobody has more stories than you." He said, So I'm saying to myself, "Well, wait a minute. How do you mean? Do I talk too much or what? But the point is exactly what he said. I like to hear that little stuff, the stuff that nobody knows about these groups, and they don't know about you, which would be interesting to you folks. So that's why I want to do it. And I think it's going to work. If it doesn't work, we still can fall back on what we're doing. We're going to France. We're flying to France in August, the last week in August, and we're going to be doing a show about an hour and a half outside of Paris. And I'm thinking, like, who the heck's going to want to see us in Paris, France? But it's a festival. It draws 150,000 people in 3 days, and we're going to be doing this in France. And these people appreciate the music the way we used to do 20 years ago, 30, 40, 50 years ago, 60 years ago. They're still into that, and they're young people. They're in their 30s. They wear the jeans with the cuffs folded up. They wear the cigarettes in the sleeve. They're doing what we did 60 years ago, So it's all new to them, but yet they appreciate it. One of the things I think that's a problem here in the New York tri-state area is that there have been so many shows, and every time you turn around, there's 2 or 3 of them. They're actually battling against each other, and people are becoming pretty complacent, with seeing these kind of shows. They're drowned with this kind of show. And I feel bad for a lot of the producers, and we have a couple of them out there in the audience. They have to constantly be on top of the mixing and matching of the different artists so that it doesn't look like the last 20 shows? And is it going to be done the right way to be able to draw 800 people or whatever it is? So, yes, I understand there's tribute acts out there. There's thousands of them. I remember when they first started, I was talking to a friend of mine whose family owned the Club Benet in Jersey. And he used to have an advertisement which looked like a bingo card. And he would put down all the entertainment that was going to be there for weeks and months ahead. And I said, Tommy, why would you put all this stuff here? I said, because if people see this, they're going to pick and choose. If they come to your show and then you tell them so-and-so is going to be here then, may not buy tickets then. He said, Vito, this is going to work. I know it is. And he was 100% right. And when I looked at it, all of a sudden, 80% of those acts were tribute acts. And I'm talking about 25, 30 years ago. When he had the insight to see that this was going to happen. And sure enough now, it's affecting the actual regular, the regular entertainers, the people that made the records now, because we're being inundated with tribute acts. And I don't blame them. At this point, at 85 years old, and we're still doing what we do, and I appreciate everybody coming out, but I can tell you, I'm not doing any splits anymore. That's not happening, So they're not really seeing the excitement; they're just seeing the memories, and we're working on that. We're thriving on the memories. These kids coming out now, they're doing the job the way it was done 30, 40, 50 years ago. So your ears are listening to what your heart used to listen to years ago. So God bless them, the tribute acts, and if they do it the right way, I have all the respect in the world for them, We have some people who, I say a tribute, tribute is not only the fact that they love them and you love them, they have to go out there and do the right job. There's got to be 10,000 Elvis impersonators, and not impersonators, but they really are doing the tributes to Elvis. And I've seen probably 90 of them. I've worked with them all, pretty much all. And as a matter of fact, when we do the cruises, especially the Malt Shop cruise, they have a whole segment of that cruise which is about the Elvis tribute acts. And you would see 5 or 6 of them up there. Not one of them looks like an Elvis. One guy's short, stocky, the other guy's Japanese. It don't make a difference. They're doing Elvis, that's it. But as God is my judge, the man is not only a friend of mine, he's in the audience right now, but that'll be probably one of the best that I've ever seen doing Elvis, and that's Richie Santa. Richie puts his heart, his soul, and his pocketbook into it. He doesn't go out and buy a suit that has some kind of a sequin in the corner here. He goes out and spends $2,000-$3,000 on an outfit sometimes. Because so did Elvis. But like I said, you get on a boat and you see all this. I call them Elvi. Anything more than 2 is an Elvi. We got 65 Elvi on the ship. I think that's plural for S, isn't it? Elvis, Elvi. But anyway, so I don't say that I don't like tribute acts. I actually do like them. I like what they're doing because they're bringing what we planted, those seeds that we planted years. They're actually letting that tree grow a little bigger. So God bless them. And how long am I going to be around? The bottom line is they're going to be still doing Little Star. They're going to still be doing Elvis Presley. They're still going to be doing Buddy Holly. And as long as they're doing that, my memory is still going to be on people's heads. Not that I'm doing it. So God bless them all. I just wanted to bring that up because a lot of people are mumbling and grumbling about, I don't like this and what are they doing and so on and so forth. If you're in the music business, you take it for what it's worth. And I really believe that if you're doing the right job, I call them young lungs. These are all the young lungs out there. There's some of these kids that blow me away. I mean, I couldn't compete with them if I was 15 years old, And I'm not ashamed of it, but I do really, I appreciate the fact that they're doing it. We had a couple of them here on the show over the years. We had Anthony Duclaws. This kid is incredible. Not only was he that good, but he's actually going to be on Broadway pretty soon. We had Vinnie Medugno here. The first show that he ever did was here. Chris Ruggiero, the first show he ever did was here. We broke a lot of these kids into the industry, and I'm proud of it. I really am. I got the opportunity. I got friends and people here that, one fellow here, Carl Marmo, came up one time. He said he was singing at a karaoke. He said, I could sing now. I would love to do the show. We put him on the show. He's doing 50 shows a year right now. He's doing the nursing homes and restaurants and things like that. So people like that who've now found the fact that they love to do something like this, they found a level. They're doing it at that level. And every time they do it, people are hearing the songs, they're bringing out the memories, and it keeps it alive, and it just keeps it moving and moving and moving. So God bless them all. There's only a few of us originals left. I'm trying to get an original here every month while we all can. And once I stretch that out, then we're going to go out into the field and pull some entertainers out from outside. But I do have tonight a very good friend of mine. He definitely, at one point, had a beautiful, beautiful record. It was a little different than doo-wop, but it actually was in that era. So he's been labeled a doo-wop singer from the beginning, but it had more of a sound of the Four Aces, the Four Tops, things like that. He picked, just like the Duprees did, he picked old standards and just rearranged them and put them out. So we got a good show tonight, and Emil Stucchio, who's the lead singer of the Classics, will be my guest tonight, and also we have another surprise for you too. So I'll bring her out a little while, and then we'll be able to. You got a lot of questions you can ask. So Teresa McClain has been with the Classics for a number of years. She was also with a group called the Chicklets, which are still working very, very big, of course, a lot, but they did change personnel over the years. But she was an original Chicklet, so it's better than being an original Spearmint Gum, I guess. I don't know, but she's but she's what she's there. We're going to bring her out too, and she's got a little bit to throw on the table. I love that. It gives me a chance. I originally was going to end the show, Let the Good Times Roll, after 38 years, and I was going to put a new show together, Talk to Me, and it was going to be basically what we're doing. I know we eliminated the dancing, we eliminated the actual singing, and those things, because it reached a point now where it was getting more difficult to do those kind of things. So this is a little different. If it works, it works. If it doesn't work, we can always flip the coin and go back to where we were. But I hope you're enjoying this. Really. Thank you. So I guess we got people out there. Like I said, we have some promoters out there, and want to turn the microphone over to a couple of them just to give you an idea of some of the things that they're doing and places where you can go see this entertainment. As long as it's out there, let's see it, let's enjoy it. The first guest.
Vito, thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to speak. My name is Linda Carrazzo. I'm from New Jersey. Originally, I was really a New Yorker, but I've been transplanted in New Jersey. And the most important thing that I do, this is my 5th year doing it, is I do a fundraiser for Tunnel for Towers, and you've been part of it. And it's really, I'm blessed. Richie Santa's going to be there. It's just really wonderful. I'm just hoping to raise more money than I did last year, and every year so far it's gone up. So that's going to be September 19th at Z2 Restaurant and Lounge. They're taking reservations now because there's limited seating. So that's the most important thing that I do. The other things that I do is I book a lot in a restaurant in New Jersey called Restaurant Maeda's. It's a small restaurant. It's like a family-owned restaurant, and it's great. It's cozy, and the food is good. And I had Anthony DiDio was there last Saturday. I have him again there April 11th. And I'm very blessed and honored that Richie Santa, who's here, he's going to be May 2nd. He's going to be performing there. And it's also, like you said, a more intimate experience, how you were talking about that. It's not going to be like on a big stage. It's small, where it's intimate, and people could really, enjoy and feel the whole experience. But anyway, the most important thing is, Vito, it was your birthday. So everybody, happy birthday to Vito, and many, many more.
My name is Al. Anyway, I'm just going to announce just a couple of things. There's one show that Angelo Russo's doing. We're doing at Esker's. It's with Vinny Medugno, the Coda Band, and the Chiclets. It's on April 24th on a Friday, and it's going to be a good show. It's going to be like a 90-minute show over there. In fact, Vito did the show last year there with his band. They were great. They sold out the place, like over 200 people. So it's really a nice place to go. So that's one show, and then it's not advertised yet, but I'm getting a show at PNC Arts Center on June 11th. And I'm glad you like the tributes, because I've got 2 tributes on the show. I got the Shadows of the 60s, this Motown band. They're fantastic. Vito will tell you about them. They're great. They do a good show. They're gonna do like an hour. And then I have Tommy Lynn, who was on Vito's show with his whole band. One Hot Night it's called. And they're gonna do like 45 minutes. So it's a 2-hour afternoon show on June 11th. It starts at 1:30 to 3:30. And that should be, if you want tickets, eventually I'll be saying more about it on Facebook and stuff, but they haven't really officially announced it, but it's coming because I already signed the contract. So everything's good. And that's about it, and go see Vito on May 15th. That's all I got to say. We got to go. That's going to be a great show. 90 minutes, right, Vito? 90 minutes you're doing?
90 minutes.
90 minutes. Come on. Where are you going to get that? Thank you.
Thank you. One of the things I wanted to say earlier too is, I don't want to monopolize the whole night with where we are and so on and so forth. But the thing is that when you see these shows, don't be bashful. If you're in the audience and you've met these people here, because we've had everybody here in the last 40 years, just go up to them and introduce yourself and tell them that you met them here at the show. They would love to be able to talk to you, knowing that there's a connection, a personal connection. So don't ever be bashful. It's not like you're running into, Frank Sinatra or somebody like that. These people from this era still believe that they're kids from the block. They're neighborhood guys and girls. They love it. You go on a malt shop cruise or you go on Rocky's Cruises out of Florida. When you get on that boat, you're no longer, other than the few minutes or the hour that you're actually singing, you're on the boat like everybody else. And you're sitting down eating. You're walking through. You're in the pool. You're at the Chase Lounge. These people now become friends. And you actually, by the time you get off that boat, you definitely made a good friend out of people, even though they had hit records a while ago. So don't be afraid to, or bashful to go talk to somebody. That's the common denominator. Tell them you were here. They would love it. And like I said, we've had everybody here. So it's not that you would be, lying when you say I saw you at the show. But, that's just another thing that I'd like to mention. Just they would like you to be friends, and just as much as you would like to be friendly with them. So we're actually going to come out now, and we're going to bring the guests out now, and I'll get a chance to talk to some friends of mine. And we.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Vito. Happy birthday to you. Yeah.
Oh man, you can't light them. The smoke alarm will go off.
That's what he said. They told us don't light the candles, the smoke alarm will go off. I don't think I have enough wind to blow that out anyway.
Oh man, I got emphysema. I tried to do that. Oh, thank you so much.
Cut that up.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, all right. Anyway, funny thing happened to me on the way to the studio. So, ladies and gentlemen, how about a big round of applause? Emil Stucchio, the classics, and Teresa McClain, also with the classics, originally with the Chiclets. So we're going to talk about that, even though you don't want to talk about it, probably. But we dig into your past here. You're not getting away with nothing. So, oh God, thank you so much, both of you coming.
Thank you.
Good to be here.
We're gonna be able to talk about things that I guess you never talked about it, or you haven't talked about it in a long time, because we're all into the future. We're all into the now time, and sometimes we let the past go by. And these people out here, not only our audience, people out there want to know what you did, how you started, where you came from. That's what they love. They love that little bit of trivia that nobody ever explained to them before. So I'm going to ask a couple of questions, and I want you to do the same thing. If you have a question you would like, don't be bashful. Tell me about it. and we'll zoom right into it.
My first question is, are we getting paid for this?
Yes, you are. Matter of fact,
You get a slice of cake.
and the first answer is no.
No. Vito, I can't believe it. You mentioned before you're 85 now. I'm 82. So I'm thinking to myself, we were kids, Little Star till then. You were traveling. I was singing your record. I was singing your songs. And then all of a sudden I'm on the road and with you, with all the other great groups that were popular then.
Well, that's the other thing that actually, which I was talking about earlier. The little things like that nobody knows about are very interesting to people.
Yeah.
I recently found out that Bruno Mars's father
Yeah.
is a major fan of the Elegants. And he literally originally came from East New York and Brooklyn. And now he's a big disc jockey in Hawaii. And he plays a lot of the Elegant songs. He loves doo-wop music. He had a doo-wop group at one point, when he was in East New York. He's Puerto Rican, Peter Hernandez. His wife is Filipino. So Bruno Mars is Puerto Rican and Filipino. But the kid was raised with his father's music. That's why he's such a big doo-wop fan, Bruno Mars. And a lot of his songs has that little flavor of that era.
Yeah.
He did Why Do Fools Fall in Love one time on one of his CDs. I mean, I thought it was Frankie Lyman.
Yeah.
So you never know where your music went. And I'm sure there's stories, that you have that people have said to you, and never mind the backseat of a Chevy routine. Everybody said, I heard that when I was in the backseat of a Chevy. The real reason that people come up to you and tell you they were either here or so on and so forth. You ever had any stories like that? Did anybody ever tell you about that?
Well, Till Then came out during right before the Vietnam War, and right after the Cuban crisis. So many people, so many soldiers, were on the other side. Their sweethearts were here,
Right.
and that song Till Then, was kind of like a rallying cry. We're here, we're waiting for you.
Yeah.
And so many people came up and told me that, it meant a lot to have a song that my girlfriend and I had used as our song.
Yeah.
And so I'm honored that they think like that. That's great.
Those are the stories. That's what I'm saying. It's and probably out there. We now stream and we're on YouTube. This is going to millions of people. Originally, we used to have 80,000 on Staten Island, and but now it's worldwide. So there are people who didn't even know that we're still around. We're still working. They probably danced to this song at their prom.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, they're looking at the guy that did the song, when they were at the prom. So those are the things that that's the reason I wanted to do what we're doing, change the format a little bit.
Oh, I like this.
And
I like your suit too.
thank you. You want it?
No, I would keep it. That style is coming back.
I try. Yeah, right. I try not to wear the same suit all the time. But
No.
you're going to see my closet. Forget about it. The thing that I also wanted to mention was that, when you originally did it, you were 4 or 5 guys.
4.
4 guys. And what section of Brooklyn?
South Brooklyn, Carroll Street, President Street. That's where we grew up. Garfield Place. I was only 16 when we recorded our first record. Yeah, you too. Cinderella, that was our first record. I met this chick at the Saturday dance, knew that I would take a chance. And from there, it took off. And then while we were on the road with Cinderella, a guy came up to me and he says, "You're singing the wrong material." He says, "You shouldn't be singing songs like novelty songs like Cinderella." He says, "You should do a ballad." He says, "When your contract is up, we're going to go in and record a song for the soldiers that are out there now." I says, "What song?" He says, "Till Then." I says, "Well, I know the song." I says, "That was recorded by the Mills Brothers, right?" And it was, 1944. Anyway, we went into the studio and we recorded Till Then, and it just took off. I couldn't believe it. 4 kids from the street corners of Brooklyn, and all of a sudden you got a record that's all over the country, all over the world. And it turns out, to be gold.
Well, we have a couple of people out here from Brooklyn too, so they probably can relate to the neighborhoods. You mentioned the streets, so you actually were in Red Hook and Carroll Gardens. Either of those areas was where you started.
Well, actually, yeah. Well, I don't know what they call it now, but we used to call it South Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, everybody knew each other. It was like a rough neighborhood, but everybody had a lot of respect for their wives, their girlfriends, and, and
Well, the old Italian neighborhoods were all like that.
Yeah.
No matter where you were, the respect was you could sleep with your doors open, your windows open.
yeah,
I mean, there used to be a feast in South Beach, an Italian feast, and my back window used to be, I would be at the back of the stage,
right.
and I would watch the back of the stage. And as the entertainment was on there in the summer. So my window opened up and there was a porch behind my house. And I used to go out the window and I used to lay down on the roof of the other thing, and I used to watch the entertainment at the feast. And the house next door, it was a strange nickname, but Pussy Correa was the next, he had a house next door, his family did. So he'd be laying down on his roof and we'd be watching, and they had this one girl, happened to be the gumaro of the guy that was running the feast. Her name was Blondina.
Ah,
And he was like a blonde Italian, which you can never find, But Blondina was singing, but like I said, the windows were open. You
Yeah.
slept on a roof. I mean, nobody. You could have left your doors open in the front of the house. When you woke up in the morning the next day, you had tomatoes on your table. You didn't even know who put them there.
yeah, yeah.
Or figs.
Hey,
That's good. Well, South Brooklyn is Red Hook,
Yeah.
Carroll Gardens. It's all those little communities in the south side of Brooklyn. So, like I said with Bruno Mars' father, his whole crowd and everybody lived in East New York, and East New York was, had, when I tell somebody you're in East New York,
yeah,
I say, well, yeah, where the hell's East New York? They figure you're in Manhattan, it's the east side of Manhattan. It's not. It's Brooklyn, So, anyway, I'm going to switch over a little bit, right? Because obviously, I mean, they always say youth first, or beauty first. I skipped that. I went to you first. I bypassed you. Said good looking. Yeah, God, we've been friends a long time. So when we abuse each other, trust me, it's all in good humor. I think. Anyway, where is she? Oh, there she is. Teresa McClain, ladies and gentlemen. Let me hear for Teresa. Teresa used to be with a group called the Chicklets that were with your band that you had, which was now the Coda
Coda
Band.
band, yeah.
And they had background vocals, and they did it. Changed hands a couple of times. There's 3 new young girls doing it now. But Teresa was actually one of the original. One of the things that Teresa did, she did move into one of the classics now. She has been for how many years now?
22, 23.
23 years.
I know.
But one of the best singers around, the best female singers around. Trust me when I tell you that. I'm not saying it because she's here.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, anyway, why don't you give me a little rundown on yourself too?
Oh, yeah?
Let them know. Yeah, of course. Without getting yourself in trouble.
Yeah. Well, when you talk about backstories, so I've been performing since I was a child because my mother had a theater group, and she was an entertainer as well.
Wow.
So it runs in the family. A lot of the family are musicians and singers and all that. So
Excuse me for 1 second. Her mother was Blondini, I think.
Well, she was blonde, but she was not Blondini. Oh, Mom was more of an opera singer, but also had a theater group in our town. And so from an early age, she would say, okay, here's a pair of tap shoes, get up on stage, I need someone to do this. Just, make it look like you're tap dancing. So it's been a wonderful journey. And to, in my earlier years, working with the Chicklets was a lot of fun. I loved the 3-part harmony. I loved the girl group sound. And then it was a wonderful fortune to be able to meet Emil and the Classics and work together because we would open up some of the shows for them. And then the day came when he said, do you want to join our group? And I said, I'll think about it. I'll think about it. No, it worked out well.
I didn't mean to interrupt, but I just want to say, when she was working with the Chicklets, I knew what they were getting paid because I was paying the group.
Right.
So I just wanted to say that I don't want to make her feel uncomfortable, but I said, Teresa, if you decide that you're going to join the Classics, I said, what do you think you need? So I knew what she was getting. She tripled it. She's
I'm no fool. Mama didn't raise a fool. Right?
So I said, are you serious? She says, yeah. She says, you are a recording group. So she got it.
Well, I don't know what you gave her, but she was worth it.
Yeah, no question about it.
Oh,
But it's been a fantastic ride because I've been able to meet all of you guys and work with you guys through the years, be on so many shows together, and just have the advantage of being backstage
and that's the
and
best part.
hearing all the
Yeah.
stories and just having the laughs that we've had through the years has been fantastic.
Oh,
I
man.
remember when we did Leaders of the Pack, with Bobby.
Oh, yeah.
And she put the background group behind it.
Right.
Yeah, and I'll never forget, as long as I live, the ride home. When after the show was over, oh my God, Bobby DeAndrea from the Knockouts is one of the funniest people I ever met in my life, and he was doing impersonations for Vito and me, and we were in a restaurant, whatever that was, a restaurant, and people were looking over at us. He said he was imitating dogs.
Everything.
And we had a lot of fun on that trip. And
He said, at one point, we were ordering food, and he starts to order it with an accent from the northwest or something. I forget what hell it was. North Dakota or something like that. And he had the accent perfect. And he's ordering this food. And the waiter is like looking at him like like he had two heads. It just would be spontaneous.
But even on stage, with
Oh.
this guy's got a great sense of humor, and then Bobby mixed in there. I was like the straight man for you guys,
We were in Florida. I got to tell this because you just brought up a point. We were in Florida, and I had fallen on a cruise, and I had chipped a bone in my foot. So I had one of those big things up to here, whatever you call it, the boot. And I didn't want to wear it on stage that night, that whole boot. So I went into a surgical supply place.
Oh yeah.
And I tried to get something smaller. So they had little ones like this, just like a slipper. I figured I could get away with that. So the guy says, well, I have different styles. Why don't you try one? Try a couple of them. So I sat down, and Bobby sat next to me, and they were sitting across the way. And it was like the old Tom McClain shoe store. They had two rows like this with women getting whatever they were getting fitted for. They were sitting on either side, almost like an aisle. So I tried one boot, the second one, I'd take 2-3 steps. Then I'd take the one on that felt comfortable. And I had a cane. So I take 3 steps, and I throw the cane up in the air, and I said, I can walk. So these people are sitting there, what the hell is that? There's a miracle right in front of their eyes. And Bobby goes right into it. My friend can walk. Oh, thank you, Lord. My friend.
Yeah, it's Bobby.
He was so funny and spontaneous. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
He's still like that. He's 90.
Yeah.
He's going to be 93 in August.
You're just like that. You're spontaneous too.
Oh,
my
man.
gosh.
You got a great sense of humor.
Spontaneous combustion.
I don't think we ever laughed that hard on the cruise when we did the Leaders of the Pack on the cruise.
Oh, yeah.
And we had to, now I'm gathered with all of these guys. This is who my companions are, right? And to get to like a sound check or something, they would all come down the hall. It was, where do we go, Teresa? Where do we go? And I'm in my room and I have my little people and I'm going, go to the left, because I didn't want to come out yet. Go to the left. And Bobby's like, how is that happening? Just go, make a left, go down the hallway. It was a trip. It was really a trip.
I still rely on you half the time. Like, no matter what it is on the job, I don't see as well as I used to. I don't hear as well as I don't do anything the way I used to. But she's a tremendous help. And another thing, like on stage, what do you say about my hair?
So you pay for it. It's yours. That color.
I said, what do you think? This is not my color?
Right.
No, it's yours. I saw you buy it.
It's all based on truth.
And yours, not,
We have when you talk about background vocals like the Chicklets, Lou Christie had the girl,
Yeah.
and he had Mary Fox, was Dick Fox's wife, and he had Maria Roland.
Yeah.
Now Maria actually now is working as a solo act, and she's also working with my friend Dilly's package called the Discotex, and they've got a nice package going. And he actually at this point, she's actually she's going to be opening for us on May 15th, by the way. So Maria will be there with us. Another dynamic vocalist, and she's also been around. Like I said, she was a background vocalist for Lou Christie for years. So, but going to be a good night. Anyways, that you would like to mention that you're going to be in the future?
We got a few things coming up. One of the places I was telling you before, Vito did a job for the police department last June, and he killed them. I really mean it. He had them standing for that. They're still standing, and it's a year ago.
Don't say I killed a cop.
Anyway, the guy who runs the league said, Emil, he says, this is one of the last years we're going to have the dinner dance at Verdi's, so we'd like you to do it. I said, okay. And my friends are so supportive as part of the police department, so supportive. They said, Emil, we heard you're doing the show this year. I said, yeah. They said, why, we couldn't get Vito? My friends.
Thank you. Thank you for not making us work that night. That's great. They were good people too, nice people.
Oh, yeah, they are.
Really a very, very responsive audience. So, as you well know too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was there last year.
So,
That's right. All right, she opened for you.
yeah. Yeah, and did a great job, of course.
Thank you.
What part? Well, I know you're in Long Island, but where were you born? Were you born in Long Island?
I was born in Boston.
Boston. Oh my God. Wow.
For a short time.
I should have figured that, McClain.
There's a lot. We're rich up there with Irish, but yeah. Then we moved down to Long Island. So.
Where are you out there? Where in Long Island?
I'm in Wantagh now.
Wantagh.
I grew up in New Hyde Park,
Oh,
right on the Queens kind of
yeah,
border.
sure.
Yeah.
I got one of my oldest friends lives in New Hyde Park. Been there for
yeah?
years. On Eisenhower, right off Eisenhower Boulevard.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And I have family here on Staten Island.
Really?
Yeah.
Where at?
Yeah. Well, I don't even know the streets anymore because it was my father's sister. But we came here as kids very often to visit her.
Are they McClains?
They're Bubendorfs.
Ooh,
Bubendorfs.
Ubendorf.
Anybody know the Bubendorfs? Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, there's a few of them left here.
Wow. Ubendorf.
Yep.
That should be a name you should remember,
I
right?
know.
It's not like a Smith.
Not a Smith or a Jones. No.
Oh God. You got to be doing that thing for Joel Warshaw.
Yeah, we're doing that later this year.
Yeah, that's he does a nice job. He does it at the left rack city or left rack. What the heck is that? The left rack.
Levittown. Is it Levittown?
Yeah, it's the Left Rack Arts Center.
Oh, yeah.
Left Rack Performing Arts Center.
Oh.
But it's actually on the grounds of Queens College.
College. That's
Yeah.
what I
The
thought.
actual
Yeah.
Queens. And that's a little confusing because we're going to be, April 16th, we're at Queensborough College.
Yeah.
And there's a big difference. How many times I know that people have gone to Queens College,
Right.
found out there's no show there that night.
That's right. You've done a few jobs that you've been doing for a lot of years. And I mentioned the other day.
Even at Queens College.
Yeah, well, you did a number of shows that you've been doing it for years.
Oh, yeah. Well, the Paramus Elks, we just did the 42nd year. They invited us in a row, except for the year of COVID. And now they just invited us back the next year. We're going to be doing it again.
Well,
That's
Talking about
amazing.
Queens College, we had a promoter who, I guess bipolar was probably the problem. Never found out what it was. We wound up doing this show, and I think I had 8 acts or 9 acts, whatever it was, on that show. 2,100 seats at Queens College. And the Kupferberg Theater, the Kupferberg Theater. So we were ready to go on, and he's nowhere to be found. And a lot of the acts said, who's going to pay us? I said, well, he'll be here any minute. And it's getting closer. And well, who's going to pay us? I said, oh, my God. Winds up that his wife is there with a baby in a stroller. He never showed up. Never at all came. So I said, listen, guys, I went to all the acts. I put them in a room. I said, listen, I already have a deposit in-house. I got it. We have to just work it out now. You got 2,100 people out there. If this doesn't happen, they're going to blame you. They're not going to blame the promoter. They're going to say, we went to see this group. They never showed. So let's just do the show. I'll go speak to the people from the school, and I'll have them guarantee that we get the money from the box. I'll sign a letter, whatever they want. I'll have my lawyers hold it on escrow. We'll get paid. I'll guarantee you'll get your money. The show has to go on. So thank God they trusted me, and on my word, the show went on. Now, the problem is that the MC the show, we needed he was going to MC it, the promoter. So I went to you, and I said, listen, I'm gonna be the MC for the first half, and you can MC the second half. Hum. No, I can't do that. I never did that. No, I can't do it. I said, hey, don't worry, you can handle it. Don't worry about it. His first MC job
I did,
was
yeah.
that night at Queens College. He did a tremendous job. Now he's been MCing everything there is.
And now you can't take the mic away
No,
from
yeah,
him.
yeah, like giving whiskey to the Indians. It was like you can't do it no more.
But Dick Fox, he did that with me too. The same thing at Westbury. Bobby couldn't make it for two different shows, and he says, "Emil, I want you to host the Westbury show." I says, "Dick, I'm not a host." He says, "You are tonight."
Right.
So I went out there and I hosted. And he said, "Jason Stone." It's true. Jason Stone was the manager of the theater, and he says that Jason got more mail on you as a host than a singer.
Yeah. You know what I did to Dick one time? I did this to Dick Fox. Dick Fox was he was a promoter, and he had the Golden Boys, Bobby Rydell, Fabian, and Dick. He had Barry Manilow, he had Jerry Lewis, he had
Dion,
he had Bobby Rydell,
Lou Christie.
Frankie Avalon, like I said. But anyway, he had Neil Sedaka, he had Pat Cooper. So his office was next door to mine on the same floor. So he come to me one day and he says, I'm doing a show at PNC, which was then the Garden State Arts Center. I got a show, he says, and my MC can't do it.
Oh.
So I want you to MC. I said, I'm not MCing the show. He said, I said, Dick, it makes no sense. I'm going to be performing there. I don't want to be MCing too. Well, can you get me anybody? I said, well, let me see who I could get. So I make a few phone calls, and I said to him, I got somebody for you. He said, oh, good. He said, what's his name? So I said, well, Jimmy Mistrangelo was his real name. I said, but he's a midget. He says, yeah, okay, all right, good. Is he good? He's good. Now, he didn't believe me that the guy was a midget. So we're backstage the night of the show, and Dick comes out and he goes, hey, not for nothing, but the MC's still not here. I said, Dick, he's been here for 4 hours already. I said, he's in the dressing room. He's fine. We'll get him out because he's ready to go on. I said, okay, so they open the door, and midget comes out, and he's got a powder blue tuxedo with a big ruffled shirt from the 50s like this. And Dick said, he's a midget. He said, are you crazy? What are you, nuts? I said, don't call him a midget. You got to say little people. He's a little person. I said, I don't care what he is. Oh, my God, what am I going to do? P.S. Jimmy went on stage. He killed it. He was very good. He did it good. Because he used to MC all the shows in Brooklyn, the old Penthouse and all of those clubs. Yeah. He used to be the MC there. So he said, are you out of your mind? I said, oh, Jesus. God.
Only you would think of that.
Oh, man. I was hysterical for a week knowing that he was going to, I couldn't wait to see his expression when he said, I made Jimmy stay in the room till the last minute. Oh, God. Are you out of your mind?
Great experiences.
Oh, God. That's why I'm saying it's these little things like that they make it all worthwhile from our standpoint. And then when you're telling people, it makes it human. It's not just bang, bang, bang. You see the name up on a marquee or something. Now we're people, and I like that. So.
Oh, absolutely. And you were saying nice things before about the tribute groups, and that's nice that you.
Look. In the beginning, did I like them? I understand. You take that attitude where, gee, they're working, they're taking work away from everybody else. But you got to be a realistic. You got to be a realist. I mean, you want it to last. You want it to go on long after you're here. You want your legacy to be carried on. And again, what are they really doing? They're doing what they love. And if they do it right, I have no problems with it. If they just sang karaoke and one day they said, wait, I could sing and they decide to go out and work. Those people, I'm not happy with that.
Yeah.
If you want to do it, take it seriously. Like I said with Richie, he doesn't just do it. He goes out and buys the right clothes, has them fitted so that they look good. We got guys that go out there. And the one thing I can't stand, and I'll say it now, whoever wants to shut me off, shut me off. I do not like the fact that they have to have the monitor here. They're reading words while they're singing.
Oh, yeah.
Or they're looking at their phone when they're singing. If you're going to do it, learn the words to the song. Otherwise don't do it. And the other thing I can't stand, they got all the stuff is behind them. Every 5 seconds they're back there touching something.
Oh, yeah.
So you see somebody, the back of his 99% of the show, you see this.
The backup, yeah.
Right.
I mean, it's very, very unprofessional. You want to do it right. I told Al one time. I said, Al, it's not for nothing, but everybody that retires now, when they retire,
Become
cops, firemen, anything, bus drivers, garbage men, whatever the heck they are, nobody goes hunting, fishing, or play golf anymore. Everybody wants to be a singer. So everybody's a singer now. Not once in my entire life did I ever see a professional singer retire and say, I think I'm going to be a plumber.
To civil service.
I mean, what is it? What do you
Yeah.
why us? Why do you want to be a singer, But it is what it is. Like I said, in the beginning, things, they did bother me. I'm starting to, really understand the situation and the gravity of the situation. And I'm good with it. Like I said.
Well, if you think about it, what kind of respect are they giving us by doing our songs, in their show? So it's a lot of respect, I think.
Well, it is. I mean, I'm talking to people in England and Spain. I had a guy come here from Spain with his wife and kids, and he said he was going to come to New York when he was in his country to meet me. And I said to him, how are you going to meet me? I'm in Staten Island. They don't drive. They're in a hotel in Manhattan.
Right.
So it just so happened friends of mine had a club on a restaurant on 3rd Avenue, and I said, where are you? They said this. I said, you know what? I'll call a friend of mine. I'll make him open up the club in the daytime.
Right.
I'll meet you there. We'll have something to eat. I'll make have them something to eat. And we did. We sat down with these people, the husband, the wife, the kids. And he was in seventh heaven.
Oh,
And the guy now is in Spain, and every once in a while he's singing and he's playing and he's always he just wished me happy birthday the other day, which was unbelievable. I'm still thanking people, and please forgive me if I miss one or if I overlook one. It's not intentional. We reached close to 1,500 birthday wishes between Facebook, the fan page, my profile, the phone, the business phone, the house phone. And I'm bragging. It's just I'm very proud of that.
Oh, you should
But
be.
I'm trying desperately to at least hit a thumbs up on everything to show them that I saw it and I'm grateful. And if I miss one or two, believe me, they're going to come after me. I had one guy told me one time when I couldn't, I think one time I had a little under 1,000, a little over 1,000. So I said, that's way too much. I put one sentence up there. I said, I want to thank you all for the birthday wishes. I really appreciate it. This guy pages me. I mean, he not text me, but he messaged me. He said, how dare you? He says, people go out of their way to wish you a happy birthday. You don't even have the decency to thank them personally. You have to put I said, well, let me apologize about that before I delete you. and that was it. That's the end of him. I mean, geez, you can't do right, man. No matter what you do, it's always somebody's always got something to say.
I'm impressed you're doing social media, though. Not everybody likes to do or
No.
handle that.
Oh,
Well,
Not talking about anyone in particular. I'm just saying.
Those are keyboard. I call them keyboard cowboys. I mean, these guys, they're in a basement in mommy's house, and they get rid of all their frustration. Those are the guys you want to meet one day, in the street or something, Just maybe the day when you're playing baseball and you have a bat in your hand. Just happen to have this bat here. Boom. Put Louisville Slugger backwards on his forehead or something.
Yeah, we had a friend. I'm not going to talk out of turn. We had a friend who recently got locked up, and he's so quick. I just told him what happened. He says that guy's the turd man of Alcatraz instead of the bird man of Alcatraz.
The third man. The third man of Alcatraz. And why would you say a friend of ours?
Oh yeah, that's true. No.
Yeah. No, there was a promoter that did something stupid and got himself in trouble.
I know.
Yeah.
So, but it happens. It happens. We had, but I always tell the story all the time. The one guy in my old neighborhood, I went to go see my mother, and he came out. He was 9 years in college, and he said something about, "Are you still making records?" And I said, "No." I said, "Not really." He said, "No, the best way to get a hit record," he says, "find an old standard and give it a new arrangement." I laughed so hard with that. I wound up using it in the act now.
That's right.
It's just too funny and it's legit. Yeah. We got to, besides all that, do we have a song queued up?
Till then, my darling, please wait for me. Till then, no matter when it may be, one day I know I'll be home again. Please wait. Till then, I believe for every drop of rain that falls, a flower grows. I believe the weather's cool, the folks are fine. I'm in bed each night at 9. P.S. I love you. There's a place for us somewhere, a place for us. Peace and quiet and open air. Wait for us somewhere. Across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston, New York to LA. Well, there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say that I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know.
You plug
It's,
into the-
okay.
yeah, like a
The
USB.
modern world. Look at this. Would you believe this? I'll put this in with my cassettes. Anyway, where can they get this? How many? Look at this. 25 songs on here, right?
50.
50 songs. Anyway,
Yeah,
where
you
can they
can
get
find
this?
it on the
Where can they get this?
our website, Emil Stucchio and the Classics.
Emil Stucchio and the Classics
.com.
website. That's it.
Yes. Mhm.
And they can actually work it
Right
out to
there.
pay.
Yes.
Beautiful. Very nice. I can't thank them enough because coming from Long Island, this is not a good thing. But between the Long Island Expressway or the BQE or the Belt, I mean, they blow your brains out before you want to come on a Monday during rush hour, no less. And when you do that, I am definitely indebted. If you ever need anything, don't call me. So, anyway, Teresa McClain, ladies and gentlemen. That's it. Emil Stucchio. And the classic. The classic.
Vito Picone, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, God.
Sal, you did a great job.
Yeah, good job, everybody. I just want to thank Palmer out there. P-A-R-M-A. I say Palmer. Always sounds like a woman's name, Palmer. But Palmer, my friend Paulie's over there. It's all the food that's in that room there came from Palmer. And go ahead, stop in. The food is out of this world. It's on Victory Boulevard, right off the West Shore Expressway. Stop in. Tell Paulie. Say Vito said hello, Paulie. And you'll wind up getting a glass of water. So, all right, Paulie, thanks, buddy. And also Country Donuts over on Arctic Hill and Richmond Avenue. Eddie and his crew, they always there for us. Thank you. I mean, the donuts are always there. I mean, there's nothing to. You can eat about 4 hours before you walk into this room. So at least for the crew, anyway. But please get a chance, go out there, say hello. Really, tell them Vito said hello. And the crew, I got the best crew in the world.
Those are great shoes. They really are.
Shoes?
I like them, yeah.
The shoes I got, they match the suit. That's why I see black and brown. Which people say, what are you going to wear, black and brown? It's crazy. Goodbye, everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
It's great.
My love.